Hi everyone, welcome to Hanging Out with Mad Mimi. I'm Mira. We are here every Wednesday at 4 p.m., so glad to have you back with us. We are having our Thanksgiving extravaganza episode today, and we are joined by Shawn Pfunder from GoDaddy. Thank you for joining us, Shawn.
Oh, you're very welcome. Hey everybody.
If you guys are watching us live from the Hangout page, you can click that Q&A button in the top of your screen and you can submit questions to us. So I'm going to pose something to you guys that's a little bit new this week that we haven't done before, and that is, in addition to if you have any questions about something we've mentioned or something you don't understand or something you want us to cover, obviously we always want those questions, but whenever I ask Shawn a question, I want you guys to also submit your answer. So I might ask Shawn what his favorite color is, and I would like to hear what your favorite color is as well. So we're going to try that. Hopefully you guys will chime in and we'll have a big group discussion. It'll be great. All preparation for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So, Shawn.
This is going to make me feel bad because all the answers will be much better than my answer.
Oh, right. We have competition now.
I know. All right.
Shawn, I'm hoping that maybe you can just introduce yourself quickly and tell us a little bit about what a day in the life of Shawn from GoDaddy is like.
Absolutely. So my name is Shawn Pfunder. I'm at GoDaddy now. Back behind me is our facility in Tempe, Arizona. I've been at GoDaddy almost 10 years. And lots of times people ask me, holy cow, how did you possibly stay at GoDaddy for 10 years? I can tell you, and this ties into the day in the life. Day in the life, typically we spend just a ton of time, or I have at least, helping other small businesses. And when I say small business, I don't mean like the 50 people or more. Like it's really a consultant, a writer, an artist, somebody that has like maybe 1 to 5 employees, typically who we work with, just making them successful. So for me, I head up our editorial department. We just launched a new blog, garage.godaddy.com, and on there it's going to be a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today. It's the stuff that we write about. Like we really just want to see small businesses be successful, people that start their own stuff to really be successful. So I believe, and the people I work with believe that this is going to get a little like philosophical foo-foo in the sky. No, we just believe it makes the world a better place. Like when people create and own their destiny, like they're happier, they're healthier, like they I don't know, like there's something to be said about people that are able to take that leap, create, and make things happen. So been doing that for a long time, totally love it. My goal in life is that the next time, maybe not the next time, but in the next couple of years, when I'm driving, say, into like Kalispell, Montana, pulling in and like, I can see the Rockies and the snow and everything, I want the first store I see to be like a local hardware shop, like with the kids in the diapers running along the edge or something. Because I mean that's gone, and I would like to see some of that again. So whatever I can do to kind of bring that small business entrepreneurship and helping them compete with really large companies, I'm hoping to make that happen. So.
Excellent, and that's also what we're all about here at Mad Mimi too. A lot of our a majority of our folks, of our users, are those small businesses that you're talking about, 1 to 5 people. Not anything bigger than that. And Shawn and I were talking about a little bit before this that there is actually data that these small business owners are healthier and happier.
Yeah.
They exercise more. They eat better, since they've started their business. So this is so important to have these kinds of support systems out there for these folks.
Yeah, not to make any of you feel guilty that don't do that. I can see me watching it going, oh, I'm supposed to be eating healthier?
Right, no, not a requirement.
Yeah, no, the data's great. We just recently did a survey. We partnered with Zogby Analytics, and we found that they are healthier, happier, more optimistic about life. They wear their pajamas more. Like I think that's cool too.
Hey,
So
there's
really,
nothing wrong with pajamas
really great.
at
There's
work.
nothing wrong with pajamas. I've got pajama bottoms on right now. Yeah.
We wouldn't know.
I know.
You might not have bottoms on. That's
Yeah,
the
that's totally
secret.
possible too.
That's
That's
but
what it's like
anyway.
at GoDaddy. Yeah.
To get back to our seasonal topic, speaking about how a lot of these small businesses, we're operating online, and their promotions are through emails, and they're through Facebook, and they're through Twitter,
Yeah.
and this time of year is a huge activity time for a whole lot of people. Even if you're not promoting anything, you're seeing a whole lot of commercials and emails about Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and now there's the Giving Tuesday, which is trying to put a different spin on that whole promotional time. But I'd just like to sort of talk about that in general, and talk about some strategies that maybe you've seen have a lot of success, in this time, but also about just sort of philosophically how people can approach this period or this season, or without being overwhelmed and still being successful and confident in what they're doing. And so I was wondering, actually, just to get it kicked off, is if you knew what the history of the term Black Friday was.
Oh.
I snopes this.
I didn't even look. I should have looked, man. I got to prep for these things. No, I would guess. No, I would guess that it has. All I'm picturing are people getting beat up at like a local Walmart, and then like somebody standing outside going, "That's really dark." They're like, "Oh, let's call it Black Friday." No, I have no idea. Where does it come from? Where does the term come from?
So it's actually very interesting because a lot of people know. I mean, it's more known that Black Friday comes from retailers actually operating in the black as opposed to in the red. So this is the point in the year when they flip from operating in the red to operating in the black. However, that is one of the most impressive retailer spin stories that I've come across, because
Really?
the actual origination of Black Friday, it was started in Philly, and it was around the 50s, and it was coined by the police department because there was such this chaotic throng of people in downtown Philly for both the Army-Navy game, because it happens Thanksgiving weekend, and because it's the beginning of your shopping season for Christmas, and so because there was such a melee of traffic and pedestrians that the police department called it Black Friday and Black Saturday. So the retailers were like, oh no, everyone's going to be freaked out and they're not going to come shopping this weekend, and we really need them to.
Yeah.
So they tried to change it to Big Friday,
They tried to change it to Big Friday?
which didn't stick, obviously. But that is when they started the story about operating in the black as opposed to in the red. And that's the story that sticks. That's the one that is the most common story that everyone knows. And now all the retailers have co-opted this term and they're using it, and now we say Black Friday.
Holy cow. So the fuzz
Right.
named Black Friday.
They did. And
Yeah.
so
it officially came from the man. Yeah.
Right. And the retailers have come in and and they've re-co-opted the whole term in order to not deter anyone from shopping.
It does sound dark. I've always wondered, right?
Right.
And you come to our place on Black Friday.
Black Friday. So I'm wondering, Shawn, if you have any sort of general advice for people for how they can fit this Black Friday into their strategies of communication or sales, or we'll just start in general.
Yeah, well, so some of the best things that I've seen on social media particularly, but also with email marketing, I'm going to see a whole bunch come through too, right? I'm going to see all those promos in my in Gmail come through. One are the ones that actually acknowledge what's happening. So don't pretend to sort of just slip in, and that's because they're marketing to me, where I'm going to be looking for probably some tongue-in-cheek or slight sarcasm. And the reason it's ironic is because they'll still be kind of making fun of Black Friday, but taking advantage of Black Friday. Because let's face it, totally makes sense to do something because all these people are in the mood to buy. Even me, I'm like, oh man, I gotta buy gifts. This is the time of year where I'm gonna be thinking about it. So acknowledge what's going on. The second thing that I've seen that works really well, and this is it's gonna sound counterintuitive, and I hope that it doesn't, is that this could be the perfect opportunity to gain followers instead of customers. And the reason I bring this up is because not only do you want people to buy, you also want to sort of sow those seeds for people that may want to buy in December. Or, and I know this gets some small businesses holding their breath, like, I don't know if I'm going to be around next year, but it may create that relationship where they'll want to buy from you for birthday presents later in the year or for something else. And the way that you do that is by not doing the straight up, like, buy one, get one free, or the straight up, buy now and save 35%. The way you do that is by offering them something that is almost tribal. So if you know me, or if you know that the types of people that would buy from you, and I might be one of those people, then you would offer things to me that I would find interesting. Not products, but cool stuff that you found online. Or, hey Shawn, totally check out this video, it's really funny. And there's still calls to action, perhaps in the emails, but there's also this idea of, oh, wait a second, you actually get me. Like, you actually know who I am. And then when I see the emails come through, instead of me going, oh, another deal, or oh, they're trying to sell me something, there's a brand affinity that starts to happen. And we've seen that even in the case with, say, really large brands. If you take Apple, for example, and I don't want to come across as like the hipster Apple guy, because I'm not. Although this is a Mac. Like, listen,
you didn't have to tell us that.
No, I know. It's not. This is totally hardcore Linux geeky operating system right now. Even some of the things that they'll send out, it'll be more just the picture and what I might be able to do with it, and there won't be a price on there. Like, I may never even see there's anything on there. They're just saying, like, listen, we know, Shawn, that you really like to listen to Ryan Adams. Did you know that he's going to be in concert? And they're not selling me the tickets. They're not doing anything else. They're just sort of meeting up with me with that similar interest. And that's what works in social media really well. That's also what I found works in email, with email marketing. What about you? What have you seen that's worked really well?
I was just going to say that we actually have an upcoming blog post where we talk about that you should send out season's greetings. And this is along the lines of what you're talking about, is that, I do understand that people have a little bit of trepidation about, like, well, I'm sending too much. I sent them this ad, and I sent them this promotion, or I have this deal that I want them to know about, then I can't send them something else. Then I'm just going to bother them. And then sometimes you do have to be concerned about that. But I think, especially on socials, like you're mentioning, on any kind of social platform, you have much more bandwidth for sending more frequently, because it is such a on-demand sort of stream. But even in email, if you're sending something that is helpful, that is valuable, that is interesting, it's not just another promotion, that's not just a reminder about this deal, then go ahead and send it, because you're more likely to engender that tribal relationship with people than to alienate them. So.
No, totally agree. That's interesting. I just saw, I think it was Etsy that somebody forwarded to me. It was free downloads for gift tags. So you could go to Etsy. Like, and this came from an email marketing campaign that they were sending out to bring people to their site, to kind of remind people, oh, hey, guess what? It's Christmas, and or it's the holidays, and you're going to be giving stuff away. We have some really cool gift tags you could download here. Nice. So it wasn't come here and buy. It didn't say that at all.
Right.
And it also had that feel of, okay, DIY, I'm going to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
part of that community, but really, really
Empowerment.
smart. Yeah, yeah. Plus, there's that element of like free stuff, like, and then when it's cool free and not like free stuff. Like when it's
Right.
cool free, even better, and that stuff works really, really well. I
Yeah.
love the season's greetings, by the way. Like sending something like that, because when you send, hopefully you're not sending it and it's like, hey, you know what, Merry Christmas, as long as you buy something from me. If you don't,
Only if you buy something, I'm gonna wish.
right? If you don't, rotten Christmas. Forget you. No, but that's what we're like. We like to have or feel like we have a real relationship, and that we're not working with, say, I want to call it like the 1970s car salesman figure, right? Like,
bye.
yeah,
Right.
right now, yeah.
Right.
Or from, did you ever see the movie Matilda? And it had
Yeah.
yeah, or like her dad's the rotten car salesman. He puts sawdust in the carburetor and stuff. Like we
Turns back
worry.
the odometer.
Right. And he's fitting it back with a drill.
Well, we're not. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like what we mentioned before, is these people who are sending out these, the folks who are watching this right now, right? It's like you have a business that's 1 to 5 people, or you're a blogger, or it's like you're not putting sawdust in anybody's.
No.
And you really do want to build these relationships because the people that you're selling to, or the people that you're talking to, are just like you.
Yeah.
Think about how you would respond to something that was sent to you, or how do you make a purchase decision?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally true. The people we're talking to don't put sawdust in people's cars.
Right. Exactly.
I hope so.
Well, right. No, wait, Q&A button. Okay, hit the Q&A button if you put sawdust in someone's car. I'm just kidding.
Ever. Yeah.
Right. But another thing that I did want to mention that we were talking about earlier, that I like, that is out there, that works really well during this time of year, are gift guides. They're a great opportunity for you to not only paint a picture of the personality of your business, by sharing the things that you like, or that you think that the folks who follow you like or would like, but it's also an opportunity for you to promote other small businesses as well. And I know the Small Business Saturday is, I think, this weekend, and so there's all of those sort of encouragements out there, but it's a really good opportunity, for you to do that with your own audience too. So
I love that idea, and I love that again, you can even be just completely blunt about it. So if you write a guide, like a small like a gift giving guide, and it happens to be stuff that you sell that goes into it, like just be straight up honest about it.
Right.
Like, over the top even, so that you can say, like, well, listen, these are the only puzzles you want to buy, and then but then you can also offer that's what I really like, is you offer or promote other small businesses. Mm-hmm. Like you promote other really great things that you saw. And worst case scenario in that type of situation, somebody's going to click on the link or in the blog post and go over to that other business. And when they go over to that other business and they look at what that other business is doing, they're trolling through their Google Analytics and seeing where all the traffic's coming to their website, and they see, like, oh, Funky Puzzle Maker over here. What in the world is that? And then when they go and they see that you recommended them, like you're building that community and you're building that tribal network. So then even the next year, they may do the exact same thing that you did, because now they're following you. They're like, well, that's brilliant. I'm totally going to do that guide. Then they mention you. And you didn't have to do the self-promote, like the best puzzles on the planet. So I think that's great.
It's a little bit like a subtle version of the Twitter, when you mention someone, right?
Oh, right.
Like you're getting their attention. You're like, hey, I think you're cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool. But it's an authentic way.
From now on Twitter, I think you're cool. I'm cool. And then go. No, and it's one of the best things in the world that you could do for and for SEO. Like when we talk to people about what to measure to see whether or not you're successful. So Black Friday is going on. You want to get some eyes on it. You want to get some sales. But this is a great opportunity to sort of spread out whatever your brand is because you have so many eyes and people are thoughtful. It's not a, listen, I really don't want to look at this right now. I got to go jump in the lake, right, middle of summer type of thing. They're thinking about the things they need to give or that they want to give. And this is your chance. You have them just for a little bit longer to, especially if you're doing something remarkable, where they see it and they go, okay, I'm not going to buy this, but I have a friend that would buy this, or I have a friend that I've got to show this to, because this is awesome, but I'm still not going to get it. At least at this point, they can share that stuff on social media. They can build up that brand. That becomes really, really powerful stuff. A really, really great way to do things.
Absolutely. And I think that idea also of, you know, of course you want to ride this wave of the gift-giving season and the fact that most purchases are actually happening now. At the same time, you really do want to remind people of how cool your stuff is, right? Because you think it's cool, it's why you're selling it. Or, you know, you think you have something interesting to say, and you do, because, you know, you're out there. But it may be that someone wants to, like, bookmark that and come back to it later. And that is just as valuable as having them buy now. It's just like staying on their radar for, like you mentioned, birthdays or something that might happen later in the year. It's not necessarily like just about the purchases that get made right now.
Yep. Now we're starting to get into like that fun, like marketing level 301, like top of funnel, micro conversion. But this is literally what it is. Is at the top, it's you're taking strangers and making them visitors. And whether that's a visitor to your website or whether that's somebody that will read the email that you send them, or they'll follow you on Twitter, or they'll take a look at what you're doing on Facebook. Those visitors are gold. That's your base of potential customers that you have down the road. You're going to turn them into leads, maybe. It could be sort of over time turns into a sale. But as soon as you have kind of like that, and I guess I refer to it as tribe because I was a Seth Godin nut for a long time. And he wrote Purple Cow and then this book called Tribes. But that's how it works, because then we all start sharing with each other. You know, a great example of that actually is Minecraft. So I know people watching are dealing with this Minecraft epidemic that's sweeping through the world right now. But I have a son. I have 3 sons, and all 3 of them are obsessed with Minecraft. And the funny thing is, Minecraft, like, I've never seen an email from Minecraft, ever. I've never seen them on social. I've never seen an ad. There's never been a billboard that goes up with Minecraft. But because they've created something remarkable and built it within this tribe, they share it with each other, right? The reason they know about it is because these kids love Legos and zombies and goofy stuff like that. And so then
Legos and zombies.
Right? Who doesn't like zombies? Legos and zombies. So then they come home and they're like, "Dad, you gotta buy me Minecraft." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But they over time, like, they share it like that, and it all becomes really tribal. I'm the same way with, like, my really close friend here at GoDaddy, Noah. Like, we geek out on the same stuff. So as soon as I see something that I think is cool, he's gonna know about it. And so that really starts to work. So even if I'm not buying, I'll send it over to him because I think it is really interesting. And that doesn't work when you take the approach of just buy all the time. It's got to be a little bit of this, hey, even if you never buy anything from me, you just learned something really awesome.
Right. It's almost like a curatorial approach.
Curatorial.
As opposed
That's
to
awesome.
really just as opposed to just sales or even marketing or anything that would be this traditional thing. It's more like, what do you like as a business owner, or as who you are out there doing your thing? What do you like? And you're going to share those things, and the people who like you are going to like the same or similar things. You're going to be able to teach people exactly like what you're saying, and then they're going to then do the same activity, therefore hopefully,
Yeah.
increasing your following and building that audience for you.
Yeah. It sounds like we're giving people dating advice. No, but like this is human advice. Like it's
right.
it's interesting from because we're saying like, well, just share what you like, and then if they like it, they'll like you. But it's perfect. It's perfect advice because we were just talking about the research that we just did on small business owners being healthy, being happier. But also from that survey, what we found out was the #1 means of marketing that they would do, or that they felt most comfortable with, was word of mouth. Well, what we're basically trying to do when we talk about email, when we talk about social media and things like that, we're trying to take that word of mouth personal approach and put it onto the internet in some way. And you don't have that opportunity to build that relationship the same way as you do face-to-face. And the easiest way to do it is to expose something about yourself or your business that shows that you are authentic, that you are real, that you're not just after their buck, that you actually are trying to do something. That's, I think, one of the reasons why even like Tom's has been so successful and some of those different businesses is because like, we believe that they're trying to do something more than just make money. And most of us are. Like I go to work every day, and I'm definitely trying to do something more than just go home with a check. So.
Right. I mean, it's why people would start these businesses in the first place, of course.
Yeah. Now we're going to start a dating advice service. I'm obsessed with that.
All right. So one other question I wanted to ask you is, I was wondering sort of if you had any examples of zany or non-traditional tactics that you've come across either in the past or maybe this year that you could share that were just sort of out of the box or a little nuts, whether they're successful or not. I was just interested in variety.
Zany sales tactics.
Zany.
Yeah. Well, one of them that's not too zany. A great example was the one that I mentioned with Etsy, and I recently saw somebody at a Design Week presentation talking about like giving a lot of stuff away, and I don't mean it's a buy one get one free thing, but you give stuff away. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm mildly obsessed with sign spinners because that's the most. I'll tell you why. Because this is what's hard, and I think this is the hardest thing about business and marketing. For hundreds of years, there have been people that hold up signs, right? Like
sure.
The end is near, like they can wear the placards and ring the bell and walk through, right? That was the sign guy. And then there was like people that dressed up in like gorilla outfits and stood out in front of the vacuum cleaner store, and they would hold their sign. And that's like 1950s time frame. And then you this was maybe only 10 years ago. Like somebody goes out and they start spinning and throwing and like doing backflips and catching, like really remarkable stuff. And I remember seeing that and thinking, how long have people been doing just, hey honey, what did you do today? It's like, oh, I stood outside with a sign, right? And I'm so great at it. Somebody came up with a way to kind of take that to the next level. And listen, there are even the moves that they do. It's like skateboarding. There's names for the different moves they do with the signs. So for people in business, your goal, depending on what your business is, in order to kind of get the word out, is to take something that has a base in sort of like that reality, like holding the sign. Okay, here's the sign, and then just tweak it enough that it stands out. And so, you know, that's hard. Thinking of like zany things. What have you seen? Have you seen something crazy besides? Because the sign spinners are everywhere now, right?
They are. In fact, I heard something really interesting about the sign spinners recently, which is here, Shawn and I are both in Arizona right now, and here they have a law that if you have a sign on the street, it has to be moving. And
you're kidding.
The original motivation behind this was to employ people, right? So you can't put a sign out on the street unless there's someone holding it. So it's like create
Yeah.
those jobs. But now there's a Shark Tank invention that's all over Phoenix that is this little mannequin with a little
You're kidding.
spinny arm that spins your sign, and it's, not just in one circle, it's kind of elliptical, so it looks funny, and and it's not just
The robots are
hypnotic,
taking over.
but it's replacing all the
Oh,
people.
man. That's so
So,
sad now.
I don't know.
Zany stuff. I don't know. Like, I mean, one place that I've always gone for inspiration for kind of like the zany stuff has been farmers markets, bazaars, things like that. Because that's usually where I see really creative solutions. I mean, I've got to translate those into, okay, here's my email or here's my social media stuff. I kind of have to translate it into that. But I think that those are cool. I think that those are a great place for inspiration and coming up with good ideas. Now I'm trying to think of something that's goofy that I've seen recently. And I can only think of goofy businesses. That's all I can think of right now.
My favorite goofy is the very cheesy photoshopped Christmas card. Where you put your face in Santa Claus or something like that. That's one of my favorite tactics. And I think that's a really good one to try for your season's greetings emails. Is just do something a little wacky with that makes people smile. Because that's what it's about. Just make people happy.
That reminds me of one. And like the concept. The concept is whatever the card is that you send, the card is a prop for a selfie or for a photo shoot.
Oh, so nice.
The common ones are like mustaches and things like that.
Right.
But my buddy and I, we were talking about doing one that's like the ugly sweater, like the Christmas sweater, the holiday sweater. So, but what you would do is it's on a little popsicle stick, and then you would do it based on perspective. So I would hold that up close to the camera, then have the other person stand back with their head above the sweater, and stick their arms out, and then take the picture. Right? I think that would be cool. Like that type of stuff is great.
Yeah. It's great to get people involved too, right? Because you can say, this is what we're sending to you. Now, please, send it back, right?
Yeah, send it back. Well, in a lot of cases, they'll also then even recommend the hashtags on Instagram. So here you go. You're awesome. Thanks for being a customer. Tag your photos, and then there ends up being this album of people posing in different shots with this ugly Christmas sweater in it. So those ideas, I think, I love those types of things where you're sending them something. And one of the reasons I really love it is because the relationship in like the customer business relationship so often is purely electronic. And so when you send them something tangible, they get that and they interact with it and then send it back through social media in some way. That's really, really powerful stuff. I think that's great. I also met a company not long ago that does like using software does handwritten letters. I think that's huge as well if you can pull something like that off. So they're still going to get the emails from you and those types of things, but when you send a greetings, there's a way to do that. They're hiring teachers in the off season because they have beautiful handwriting.
Oh, nice!
A gross overstatement, like, all teachers have perfect handwriting. But they would hire them to write it out, which is really cool too.
Oh, that is cool.
So cool ideas. Yeah,
I do also really appreciate that give and take between analog and digital. Like whenever you can. Like obviously, it's not always possible, right? You can't always send your customers handwritten letters. Like you may not have their addresses, but let's say they bought something from you. You know, just a night. Then if you have the means to do something that bridges that gap. And that is always very successful. I find people really do appreciate that kind of thing.
Yeah. Even if you don't have their addresses, like providing in your email newsletter or social media, providing the template to download the ugly sweater,
right?
The little instructions on. All right, make sure you put it on a popsicle stick. I think that those things are great. The wonderful thing about them, in a lot of cases, this is where the brand the affinity comes under the tribal nature of it. Even if I were to download the Goofy Ugly Sweater series and play with it, even if I did it with my kids, didn't take any pictures, like I now know there's this really cool place out there that provided this stuff. And when it comes time again to buy, when it comes time for the seasons again, even just when my kids' birthdays come up, I'm like, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to check it out. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So speaking of, let's say a little more traditional.
Yeah.
My house kind of smells like pecans and pumpkin pie right now. So I was wondering what your favorite Thanksgiving food is. And I want to hear from everybody. If you have a Q&A button on your screen, click it and tell me what your favorite Thanksgiving food is.
Yeah, no favorite Thanksgiving food. Man, I am hungry. I'm getting contemplative. You know what? My favorite Thanksgiving food, and I just heard this recently, that so many of us just revert back to childhood, like whatever it was that we ate. It's actually stuffed mushrooms.
Whoa!
Stuffed mushrooms, yeah.
Nice.
I'm not a big meaty kind of guy, but it's sausage, and this is so bad for you. It's sausage and cream cheese and like some chopped up cooked onion and garlic. It's all mixed up, thrown into a mushroom cap, and then baked. And I think because it was the only unique thing that my grandmother cooked growing up. Like there was like turkey and stuff.
Right, right.
I grew up in Idaho, so like there were potatoes coming out of our ears. But yeah, stuffed mushrooms.
That sounds excellent.
I totally love it. What about you? What's your favorite?
Stuffing.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I love the way you're like, bar none.
I really like white foods, like pasta and bread and potatoes. And so stuffing is just kind of this like really great bready goodness. Oh, Roger likes Brussels sprouts.
Oh, dude, yeah.
We're having Brussels sprouts, Roger. You can come over.
I love. Do you guys roast them?
I don't know. Roger will have to tell us. We will.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Recently, I tried a Brussels sprouts on the stalk. That was really great.
Yeah.
Put like a honey balsamic on it, and then just stick the whole stalk in the oven.
Oof. Yeah. Because I grew up with the boiled Brussels sprouts, so did not think I liked them.
Right.
But now,
great, Roger. Thanks. That's great.
Roasted Brussels sprouts are amazing. Have you ever had them shredded?
Yes.
Yeah, shredded roasted Brussels sprouts. See, food's always the best thing to talk about.
Okay, Roger says that he does it with oyster dressing, or maybe that's another thing.
No, that's in the stuffing. That's like oysters in the stuffing, like in the dressing. Have you ever had that?
No.
Totally traditional, totally amazing. So good. I kind of dig Roger.
Yeah, Roger, you're awesome. We love you.
Yeah, oyster dressing's good stuff, man.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We're all really hungry.
I know. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us. This was excellent. And if anyone has any follow-up questions or anything and they want to reach out to Shawn, you can catch him on Twitter at PFUNDR, right?
Yes. It's just my last name on Twitter. Pfunder. Right. So at Pfunder. That's it.
Right. So you can catch up with him there. And as always, you can always reach out to us at any time. I'm at mira@madmimi.com, and we're always here to help. So if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and reach out. You can always watch this anytime on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Mad Mimi Email. So look for any of our past episodes there. And we will be back next week at 4 p.m. And have a very happy Thanksgiving. Bye.